Happy New Year, future millionaires, and welcome back to my channel. I am Kayla.K.Keane. Most of you make New Year's resolutions at the beginning of a new year. But according to Forbes.com, most of you also abandon them by February of that same year. That is because you're making goals, but they are not smart. So in this video, I'll walk you through the steps for making smart financial goals. You definitely need to see more, so keep watching. Welcome back, future millionaires, and thank you so much for staying. Now, I hope that 2021 has found you in great financial standings. So the first thing that we actually need to do in 2021 to ensure that we are making proper steps towards goal setting is to review the year that was. So you're going to look at all your finances for last year and make an assessment to see if you had a great year, a good year, or a not so good year. So you should have had a goal in terms of your saving for 2020. So you're going to look back at the amount of money that you saved, what you invested, and how much money you started the year with versus how much money you ended the year with. If it was not a great year, that's fine. That's what 2021 is for. So let us start goal setting together. As I said in the beginning of the video, we are going to do it the SMART way. SMART is an acronym, and we're going to work you through the acronym to help you to do better goal setting. Let us start with S. S stands for specific. Let us start with S. S stands for specific. So for a financial goal, a specific goal could be to save $1,000 by the end of 2021. It is very important for you not just to say, I'm going to save, but to be specific for the amount of money that you want to save so that it can be more realistic in your head. So in your head, you know that this is the figure. If I said that I wanted to save 12,000 Jamaican dollars by the end of the year, it is very obvious to me that I would have to save $1,000, at least $1,000 per month to achieve that goal. So a lot of you have not been achieving your goals because you are not specific as it relates to the amount that you want to save. So I've told you in other videos that your goals need to be specific, and this is what the S in SMART is also for. So next up is M, which stands for measurable. So measurable is obvious, and it means that you can simply look at the bigger goal and split it up in smaller amounts to measure different parts of it. So for example, in the example of saving 12,000 Jamaican dollars for the year, it's measurable because you know that you need to save at least $1,000 monthly, right? So all your goals need to be measurable. So if you reach this far in the video, you need to be writing certain things down. Remember, firstly I said S is for specific, so the amount needs to be specific, and M is for measurable. And then we're on to A, which is agreed upon. No, some of us have to set our financial goals with another person. For example, if you're married or if you're in a serious relationship. So everything about the goal needs to be agreed upon. If you're saving money together, say for example, those of you who have a joint account that I spoke about in the video about couples and relationships, you cannot just get up and decide that you are going to put $1,000 in that account monthly when you're both spending from the account. That is ultimately going to cause a conflict. Both of you need to agree upon the goal and make a final decision together. Next up, we have R, which stands for realistic. Talk to me in the comment section. Have you ever made a financial goal, but you knew in your head at the time you were making it that it is not realistic? For example, If you only make $30,000 monthly, you cannot save $30,000. That just absolutely makes no sense. So the goal needs to be realistic. How will you know if your financial goal is realistic? So now that you have decided on the amount that you want to save, you need to go back and look at your budget. Look at your spending habits, your spending patterns, your responsibilities, to see how much money is left after you have taken care of your responsibilities. Ideally, you should be saving first at least 10% of your pay before you pay any bills or anything else. However, we're already in the middle of the ball game, and some of you will just have to be true to yourself. Look at what exists already to see if you can make that 10% or even more. Or maybe you'll have to start off with a less amount, and then you'll come up to the 10% and go up to 20, up to 30, and so on. So R is for realistic. And then we have T, which is for time-based or time-bound. All of us can save $1 million Jamaican dollars. Yes. It might take some of us 10 years. It might take some of us 20 years. It might take some of us a year, or maybe 2 years. However, that will not necessarily help you on your financial journey if you take 40 years to save $1 million. So your goals must always be time bound. I use the example of a year, and I've been using it from the start of the video. Your financial goals does not have to be based over a year. It can be 3 months, especially if you're someone who does not stick to a plan and stick to it well. It can be 6 months, it can be 9 months, it can be a year. It can even be a month. Start really small, but your goals must be time bound. So an example of your goal being time bound is to say, I'm going to save 1,000 US within the period of 1 year, right? So it is very important that your goals are time bound. Remember that your financial goals are not just out of thin air. Remember that your financial goals are not just pulled out of thin air. You could be saving towards something specific, like purchasing a motor vehicle, purchasing real estate, or so on. So your goals need to be time bound so that you can achieve your goals in time. All right, future millionaires. So I'm almost sure that all of you fully understand the concept that I just taught you. However, I'm doing a quick recap just in case there are any ambiguities or if you missed anything. So remember, we're working on our financial goals the smart way. So we have the S firstly, which stands for specific. So in this example, we're using 12,000 Jamaican dollars as our target saving amount. So that is specific. For measurable, we want to save $12,000. So we want to do it over a year. So for it to be measurable, we divide it by 12 because there are 12 months in the year. So that would mean you have to save at least $1,000 monthly. After you have done that, remember, some of us set our goals with other persons. As I was saying earlier, for example, if you're a couple. So it has to be agreed upon. So if you agree that you're saving the $12,000 and it's the two of you, you'll have to divide it by 2 to get your specific amount, which would be $6,000 per person. After you've done that, you want to ensure that it is realistic. The question is, are you earning enough? If yes, we tick that off and we move on to the final one, time bound. You cannot just set a goal in thin air. It has to be time bound. So for this example, we're using the period of 12 months. So now we can look at it, and even before we start working towards this specific goal, we know that it is specific, measurable, agreed upon, realistic, time bound, and time based, so we will be able to achieve it. For 2021, we're not just setting random goals that we cannot achieve. We want to ensure that when we set the goals, we achieve them. That will give you a feeling of being proud of yourself. You feel as if you have not failed yourself, and that is why a lot of persons do not bother to try. because they consistently fail when they set goals. So this will help you with that and help you towards the future that you really want for yourself. I hope this video was helpful, and let me know in the comment section if you liked it. Until next time,